Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
Ready? 1. You will do this 4 times with the left, 4 with the right, then 8 times with both, then repeat.
87 Sports Fans live. It's the NFL Hour, kids, and that means Steve and I are joined by Mr. Jim Saranteas, the Fantasy Greek himself, from thefantasygreek.com. Jim, welcome back to the program.
Guys, how are you? Happy Monday.
Happy freaking Monday.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Isn't it a holiday today or something?
President's Day, yeah.
President's Day, yeah. It's a holiday for some, but not for most.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the reverse. It's a holiday for most, but not for some.
Something like that.
Yeah, I work today, so.
So, if you kids are new to the show, how this works is that we're going to talk about a bunch of NFL topics, and if you want to interrupt us at any time with your questions, especially if you are in a dynasty fantasy football league and you have some real value questions coming up as we head into free agency and the draft, the number is 585-633-7487, 585-633-7487. So, I came up with a rundown because I'm trying to be semi-organized as we move on. Because last week's show, you could really tell that we need to plan out these off-season shows. But the first topic that I want to talk is not because I think it's the most important or anything like that. I just think it was a real jerk move, and that's the Packers releasing Brandon Bostic. I mean, to me, this screams that they're making him a scapegoat for that boneheaded special teams play against the Seahawks. He's not the reason they lost the game. It just struck me as kind of a rotten thing to do. What's everybody think on that? I hate the Packers, but
Well, I mean, you could look at it as a scapegoat, but I mean, he only caught 2 passes last season. Now, mind you, they're not paying him a lot. They're paying him league minimum $585,000, so it's not like he's crazy expensive. But you have a guy that's obviously underperformed, and he made a huge mistake in a game. It's not like he had a lot of upside for the team. And once again, they might know things that we don't. What we look as a scapegoat, they're looking as cutting their losses. So I can't really give too much of a pro or con on that.
Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
If there's a player to cut, I think he makes all the sense in the world. I mean, Steve, you mentioned the league minimum, but that's $600,000. I mean, that's for the third string tight end to basically sit there and be on special teams in limited circumstances. They're certainly going to find another player to replace him on special teams. And as far as tight ends are concerned, there's going to be plenty around that they could, just like him. He was an they signed him as an undrafted free agent. And I even went back further and checked on his history. He didn't even have a draftable grade. So they really took a chance on him. And for him to see him cut in the third year, even if they're making an example of him for the botched attempt to retain the kickoff in the NFC Championship, God bless him. I think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. And I mean, he makes and he's the player that made the massive, mistake that really, in the end, cost Green Bay the game. And if they're going to fire the special teams coordinator, there's no reason why there wouldn't be a target on him as well.
No, I'm sorry.
But even to give this some further background, the special teams for Green Bay was not very good the entire season. So the firing of Slocum was certainly something that it was going to happen. It was just a matter of, after what game. Now, have they solved their problems? I don't know. They've promoted Ron Zook, who was the assistant special teams coordinator, to be the special teams coordinator. So we'll have to see if the assistant can actually do something better than the actual coordinator did. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is an aspect of the Packers team that needs some substantial improvement, whether it be the coaching or, more importantly, the personnel.
He wasn't their worst special teams players by any stretch of the imagination. So Why cut that guy? Why pick on him? It just I think that they're cutting off their nose just to spite their face. They're focusing too much on this guy, and they should really be focusing on the fact that they could only score so many points with all of the gifts that Seattle gave them that game. That's where they should be putting all their ducks. But anyway, it is what it is. We've already spent more time talking about it than we should. But I just wanted to get everybody's thoughts on it because it really just rubbed me the wrong way.
Sure you did.
Yeah.
Rubbed me the wrong way. And I promise it had nothing to do with it being Green Bay. Yes, it had everything.
Keith, he had 9 receptions in 2 seasons for 123 yards and 2 TDs.
He's not an offensive player. He's a special teams player.
I know, but there's a ton of special teams players.
I know.
A ton.
I get it. It's just, why that guy? Why'd you have to release him? I'm just saying.
And it's costing him $600K. Come on.
I'm telling you. Tells me everything I need to know about what's going on up there. Everything I need to know. Anyway.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so then Peyton Manning tells Denver he's okay. So, and I put in the rundown, do you believe him? And that's not really what I meant, but it's kind of like at this stage in Peyton's career, if it was a lower leg injury, all of your throwing strength and your accuracy has a lot to do with your legs and everything like that. And you look at where Denver's passing game was last year, it was still very good, but they were not top echelon like everyone had thought, and a lot of that probably had to do with Peyton's injury, of course. How comfortable are you if you're Denver that Peyton's ready to come back? You got a new head coach, new system. What are you thinking if you're Denver? Like, to me, it doesn't seem like it's a slam dunk like it used to be.
No, and for me, I mean, Denver needs to really look at what's going on in the AFC. You know, for the last couple seasons, they were able to pretty much own it, but now you have Peyton, who at best has a year, maybe 2 left in him. But then you got all these teams that are really starting to make strides, be it Indianapolis, Baltimore, even Buffalo, and then you still have New England, which is still, in my opinion, the best team in the AFC. So when do you cut the cord and say we really need to get a younger quarterback in here, kind of what Indy did when they got rid of Peyton, and say we need to get somebody in here that can take over and utilize the weapons that we have while we still have them, which free agency is still not done, so who knows what's going to happen with Bull Thomases and Wes Welker, who might retire. You know, if they lose Welker and one of those 2 guys, they're going to be a shell of what they were.
So the original question was, do they bring Peyton Manning back? And the answer is absolutely, positively yes.
No, that wasn't my question.
Well, that was the question.
No, it's not.
What's the question, Keith?
It wasn't whether they bring him back. It's that if you're the Denver Broncos, how good are you feeling about him being back? Because it's not a slam dunk like it used to be.
Well, I think you're absolutely feeling good because, quite frankly, you've got no other choices. Even 3/4 of Peyton Manning is a pretty good quarterback, and I'll take him any time of the day. The reality is this. If there's anything going on right now, there's a bit of posturing, I think, by the Broncos. They're probably going to want to try and see what they could do about restructuring his salary, which, quite frankly, that's very unclear to me how – I mean, they have no leverage to do that. None at all. Not one single piece of leverage. So – and here's why, because they've got roughly $20 to $23 million of salary cap space right now. I mean, this is not this isn't a situation where they need to cut his salary in order to try and keep players. It's plenty of money to do something with Demaryius Thomas, and I believe Julius Thomas too. Now, if they're going to want to have more money to do something for those players or some other player, all they have to do is go to Peyton at any time, by the way, and say, hey, Peyton, we're short a little money here, and we're trying to help you. If you can get us $1 million or $2 million or $3 million from your $19 million, we could then sign so-and-so, and that certainly will help you. That certainly will help the team. The guy doesn't really need the money. Right. So how do I feel about Peyton Manning? I think it's great. I think bring him on back. You want to draft another young quarterback because you're not happy with Brock Osweiler? By all means, go right ahead. Do whatever it takes. But right now, there's no reason for them to do it, especially after that last podcast last week where the discussion was, in part, how does this draft class compare to other draft classes? And the answer is, as far as the quarterback position, not too good after the top 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, and even the second number 2 quarterback is going to be a project.
No, exactly.
Potentially, yeah.
I mean, unless Mariota falls in Philadelphia, he's going to be a project. But Peyton is, I think people underestimated in Denver just the difference between, swapping out Wes Welker into that offense. Nobody expected it to be as underwhelming as it was last year, I think, and never really got off the ground running last year.
Well, here, let's assume that let's assume the Jaguars go after. Well, no, wait, not the Jaguars. Excuse me, the Buccaneers. Well, the Bucs are probably going to take Jameis Winston. I mean, that at least is the thought. So, who are we projecting to take Mariota?
It depends on who you believe needs a quarterback. If you believe Tennessee is not
no, skip Tennessee, skip the Jets. Who are we looking at?
Hold on,
St. Louis.
Nope, they just said Bradford's their guy today. Which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but
it ain't the Browns because they would never admit to possibly having made a mistake on Johnny Manziel.
Oh, their owner just came out and said it's way too early to say that.
No.
Unless he was just talking for the sake of talking.
I mean, would you think it would make sense? A team like the Jets. You have a new coach coming in. Geno Smith hasn't proven anything in the years he's been there. It's potential.
What's funny is that Mike Mayock actually said today that he sees the Jets being a good fit with Chan Gailey running that offense.
Well,
and so did Alan Demonjic too.
I'm not sure that you could exactly. I don't know that Chan Gailey is the right guy for a rookie quarterback. The quarterbacks he tends to work with are very much middle-of-the-road guys, not rookies. But let's just say, Mariota could go to the Rams. I could see that being the fit.
Yeah, he could go to the Rams, and if they don't take him there, then I think he falls to the Texans.
No, I don't know that the Texans are going to do that. Wow, that would be. I don't know.
They got to do something. They blew it last year, I thought, by not getting a quarterback. But then
let's see.
But then, if it's not Houston, does Kansas City take him, have him sit behind Alex Smith, and develop?
Could be. I think he'll be long gone though by then.
Yeah. But
that's just me. Anyway, so let's say he goes to the Rams. His coordinator is going to be Frank Cignetti. He was the quarterback's coach under Brian Schottenheimer, so you at least would expect some continuity within the systems from last season to this season. Whether or not he's the guy to develop a young quarterback, I can't think of a better guy than a former quarterback's coach, potentially.
Yeah.
But because here's the thing, Sam Bradford, I think this is his last season. If he doesn't do it, they're cutting bait on him.
Yeah.
You look at their defense, solid. Absolutely solid. They need some guys